Welcome to the Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Laura James, filling in for Abby Peel. Well, our show today is presented by the Refinery Restaurant, Market, and Catering in Andover, where the reviews tell you everything you need to know. Quote, very happy to drive the 45 minutes or so to get here. Classy place, yet responsibly priced. The food is fantastic. We'll be visiting with the barkeep, Jonathan Emmons, at the Refinery Restaurant and Catering in Andover, New Hampshire. Grace Scarlet, a painter-artist, will give us a look at her work now hanging in the walls of Bar Harbor's Center for the Arts Micro Gallery. It's located on Main Street in New London. Neil Nevins from MainStreet Warner will give us a full rundown of summer performances at the music stage of the Jim Mitchel Park. And Nancy Tripp will run down the performances for the Summer Music Associates. And we'll close with Representative Hope Damon, giving us her legislative report. But first, a few words from our stable of good businesses that underwrite your Yankee Chronicle. Please stay with us.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Laura James, for Abby Peel, and I'm so excited to be where we are today. We are, of course, at the Refinery in Andover, New Hampshire, and I have a very special guest, Jonathan Emmons. Welcome.
How are you?
Good. You are the bearded barkeep.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We all know who you are.
I appreciate that very much. The Bearded Barkeep is a mobile bartending company. In fact, that's how I found the Refinery, through working some events with Brian and AJ. And Linda, and because of the functions that they do and the functions that I did, it was a really nice marriage to come up here and work with these folks.
So we're lucky to have you. You do, what, 100 events a year?
Yes, ma'am. I've been very lucky to book quite a few events, weddings, birthday parties, bar mitzvahs, company parties.
Right.
But the truth is, I'm lucky to be here. The folks at the Refinery are amazing.
Yeah, forget the food, which is fantastic. It's just a great place to be, isn't it?
That's exactly right. The camaraderie, the staff, the owners, everyone just really takes good care of us.
So now to bring someone of your caliber in here to be behind the bar, which I know is a very important job, but you're busy, and everyone, I mean, we knew, the bearded barkeep. I drive up and I see barkeep and said, you're going to see Jonathan today.
Yes, ma'am.
So it took a lot to bring you here? Was it just the environment?
You know what, it was really the people that brought me here. I come from Concord. It's not the easiest drive I've ever had for a job, but
yes.
The folks here, we do softball on Sundays as a large group. The way that they handle business in terms of the food and the service is where a professional like me wants to be bartending.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Now I need your help.
Yes, ma'am.
Because when I was growing up, it was wine and cheese was the big thing, right? But now my children, who are adults, they're into mixed drinks.
Yeah.
Are they back?
Yeah.
Clearly?
Yeah. Mixed drinks are definitely back. One of the things that we've kind of instilled over the last couple of months, we do a martini Thursday night here at the Refinery.
Oh.
Each week we highlight 5 or 6 different martinis, as well as your standard, hot and dirties and your cosmopolitans. I'm a Manhattan guy. I really like a good, perfect Manhattan. Bloody Marys. We do some really cool batch drinks like a guava rita and a spicy margarita that have been really big hits. Another thing that we try to do at the Refinery, which is really cool, is we use a lot of local stuff. The lavender fields over in Warner, we get a lavender syrup from those folks. Protectworth Brewing is local. We have 6 of our tap lines are New Hampshire beer companies, which is really cool. And I think that makes a big difference in getting people to the restaurant, when you do some local stuff, when you support local businesses, it draws attention to the refinery. And
well, you think farm to table, and I know that Brian and Linda source local, products
Yes,
as
ma'am.
well, but I never connect that to, to the bar, and how interesting.
That's right, and it's a really cool thing when people come in and see a lavender syrup that's made just a few miles down the road,
Yeah.
that we can highlight in our martinis and stuff like that, for sure.
So you named all those typical brunch drinks too. You do, all of the, Bloody Marys.
Bloody
and
Marys and mimosas. Yes, ma'am. Just about anything. We do a couple of really cool chocolate martinis and espresso old fashions. We even did a tequila espresso martini on the martini menu, which is a little bit different, but people are willing to try stuff that's fun and exciting and a little bit new for this area, for sure.
Absolutely. I was speaking with Jonathan Emmons, of course, the beer Barkeep. We've got a minute left.
Yeah.
And so if someone comes in and they're like me and not as familiar with what mixed drinks they should get, what do you recommend?
Yeah, I first recommend you look through our drink menu. It changes most weeks, whether it's a special drink or the margaritas and stuff like that. But talk to your bartender, talk to your server. What I really like to do is start with a base. What is the base liquor that you like? Do you like a vodka? Do you like a rum?
Sure.
We have some great folks here who will mix up anything, who are very creative in what they do, and we really like to test some things out. So if you had a question, we are really interested in trying
Happy
some
to
things.
answer.
And yeah.
Before we leave, tell us where we can find you. The Bearded Barkeep.
Yeah, the Bearded Barkeep. I'm in your backyard. I'm in your at local venues. The Fells over in Newbury, Dexter's Inn, the Livery. The Andover Hub is a really great one. New London Historical Society does a lot of events that I help out with. So there are definitely some really cool places around the Lakes region that are inexpensive and that you can get the Bearded Barkeep over to.
Jonathan Emmons, thanks so much for the conversation.
I appreciate you very much.
And we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
What a friendly place, laced with Epicurean delights. When we return, Grace Scarlet, an artist now showing at the Micro Gallery in Bar Harbor Bank on Main Street in New London, will join us. But first, these words from one of the other good folks that make your Yankee Chronicle possible.
This program is supported by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the Country Press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications.
We are strong and we'll get through this together, but these are stressful times. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, and know that you are not alone. Visit wearebroadcasters.com/hope, furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Laura James, filling in for Abby Peel. Well, last year we introduced you to an amazing young artist. She has continued and expanded her work. Tell us more, Grace.
Well, I'm an artist with a dual personality, or you could say a dual paintbrush. I create bright, bold, modern abstract with energetic application, but on the other hand, I create glorious landscapes. Vincent van Gogh has always been one of my top inspirations because during his lifetime, he wasn't afraid to be adventurous and explore different art styles. And as an artist, I can really relate to that. I began painting when I was 3 years old, and I create art every day. Some days it'll be realism, and then other days I'll switch to abstract. And then some days I'll do both and go back and forth between the two. And now that I'm 15, and every painting I create, which takes several weeks to several months, in reality has taken the vision and experience of a lifetime. In my abstract, it's color and making the hues work really well together. And then in my realism, it's about that perfect streak of light or the light coming from the clouds, which makes each painting unique and special. I'm definitely inspired by the painting process itself. I'm always thinking about what colors and hues will work really well together and how to apply it to the canvas differently than before. It always gives me a thrill to know I'm adding beauty and value to people's homes. And I'm also inspired by the end result itself, when I see my artwork on the wall and see people admiring and loving my work. And when they take it home with them, that really makes me feel honored. I believe people need art to make their homes and lives feel more complete. I've been to a lot of homes in my lifetime because my parents do investment real estate, and it always disappoints me when I walk into the house and I see little to no artwork on the walls. It makes the house feel very lifeless and not well lived in. It always makes it feel very empty and colorless. And that's why I just want to encourage people to make it a priority in their lives to add more beauty and color. I definitely liked the viewer to feel joy, and color equals joy. We live in a very tense world, and I believe that the art on your walls should definitely bring you a lot of happiness. I believe art is a stress reducer because when the human eye sees something visually pleasing, it tends to make us feel at ease and more restful, and it also can help us calm the mind. So I'd say if you want to be happy, you should probably go to more art events. When talking about modern art, most people believe that art should only go in a contemporary setting, which it does beautifully. It also can go in a traditional house, houses with beautiful antiques and beautiful crown molding. An abstract piece would only add to this and make the house feel very well collected and loved. Artists have to be brave. People generally don't think about the difficulties an artist has to deal with beyond making the art. On a daily basis, we have to deal with self-assessment, success, failure, marketing and selling, and sharing our innermost world. And of course, we're privileged to get out in the world and go to openings and talking with all sorts of people. But sometimes it does take a self-pep talk. For me, before openings, I always have to remind myself that I'm not nervous, I'm just excited. And it really works. I believe good art should stir the soul. If a painting brings you lots of happiness and makes you very joyful, I believe it's not only good art, it's great art. And if it stirs the soul, the buyer can be fully confident when purchasing the art. Well, there are a couple of reasons why you should buy art from a current artist. One of the reasons is that a current purchase is going to help promote the artist and the art to flourish and grow, rather than the art dying off with the past. And deceased artists do not need this financial support. Another reason would be human connection. We live in a modern world with disconnection, and it'd be great to be able to have a piece of art on your wall and be able to say, I know that artist, she's a girl that's 15 and lives in New Hampshire. And having that, you have a story to go along with the art. And this way, the art comes alive through connection. I have 2 great Instagram accounts where I post all my behind-the-scenes painting, and one is on Grace Scarlet Art and the other is on Grace Scarlet Fine Art. It's a lot of fun, so I would encourage people to follow me on those accounts. I also have a website with video footage of my paintings.
Thank you, Grace. Do stop by the bank and take a look at the work of this young lady. When we return, Neil Nevins will give us a rundown of performances scheduled at the stage of Jim Mitchel Park in Warner. Please stay with us for the next installment of an underwriter of your Yankee Chronicle. Your business can also be an underwriter for this show by contacting us at info@ycnnow.com for details.
This program is supported by MainStreet Bookends of Warner for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. MainStreet Bookends of Warner.
Feed the need for musical hilarity with this tasty sci-fi smash about a man-eating plant. A deviously delicious musical with its 1960s pop rock score, Little Shop of Horrors, has devoured the hearts of theatergoers for over 40 years. The story follows a hapless floor shop worker who raises a foul-mouthed R&B singing plant that feeds on human flesh and blood. This charmingly tongue-in-cheek comedy has been produced all over the world and returns to the new London Barn Playhouse stage. Don't miss out, but don't get too close to the plant.
Welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle. I'm Laura James for Abby Peel. Let's now join Neil Nevins of MainStreet Warner.
Again, we're excited about being able to launch our 2024 summer series here at the park, the MainStreet Warner stage. And our first event is June 6th, 5 to 6:30 with the new London Barn Playhouse, preview of their upcoming season. And on June 15th, we have Nick's other band. MainStreet Warner is sponsoring Warner's 250th anniversary. And we're very excited about having this wonderful local group with us. On June 23rd, on Sunday, 4 to 6, we have our local favorite, Tom Pirozzoli, and his wonderful tunes. And then on July 12th, we have the Lugnuts on the stage, starting 6 o'clock. And the Lugnuts, again, are a local favorite, and their tagline is that they're better than they sound. So we're happy to have the Lugnuts back. And then on July 21st, Sunday, starting at 4 p.m., we have Warner's singer-songwriter Colin Nevins, who is touring New England but will be with us on Sunday, the 21st. And then on August 4th, we welcome back Green Heron. And Green Heron has a combination of old-time folk, bluegrass, country, blues, interspersed with some contemporary sounds, and really happy to have them back with us. On August 23rd, we have not only a regional favorite, but a band that's touring nationally. We're fortunate enough to be able to schedule them here at the stage, Grain Thief. And they've been recognized as #1 in the Roots Music Report Traditional Folk Album Chart. So we're really happy to have them with us. And then September 7th, Saturday, from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m., we have our annual local music festival featuring Night Kitchen, Will Hatch, Corridor Management Plan, and a lot more on September 7th. September 20th, we have Dwayne Haggins with us. It's a singer-songwriter that is a combination of Hank Williams and Sam Cooke. Again, has toured nationally, and we're very happy to be able to catch him here at the stage. And then that winds the season down with Warner Fall Festival in October, and we'll have the weekend of music at the stage. So very exciting to have all of these performers here with us. And always this is another reason why there's something wonderful happening here in Warner.
Thanks, Neil. There is so much entertainment in our area during the summer. Let's now hear from Nancy Tripp on what Summer Music Associates has in store.
July 25th, we are bringing a different pianist. Many of you are probably not familiar with him. His name is Paul Bisaccia. Paul's program for Summer Music Associates is going to be a special homage to his great musical grandfathers. He will play a concert of music by Beethoven, Czerny, Haydn, and Liszt. And the reason he's chosen these composers is that his teachers and those pianists' teachers go all the way back to students of those composers. So Paul brings technology to the concert so that you can watch his hands while he plays. He tells wonderful anecdotes and gives us the history and some humor about these composers and their compositions. So it's an entertaining evening, and we get to hear some of the most beautiful piano music ever written. Beethoven's celebrated Waldstein Sonata, the romantic piece Fioralice, and Liszt's famous Hungarian Rhapsody No. 2, one of the most popular piano pieces ever written. So that concert is going to be just spectacular. So on August 8th, we will have an extraordinary brass group called Alias Brass. And they have a very wide artistic range, combining diverse elements of classical music, modern pop culture, and all things in between. They like to create an experience that's both engaging and exciting. Alias Brass has a mission that they want to ensure that music remains sustainable and is thriving in today's society. And they create a gateway into classical music for future musicians and music lovers alike. They're very dedicated to presenting music that is accessible to our youth, and that is one of the missions of Summer Music Associates as well. So we are extraordinarily pleased to be able to host Alias Brass. On August 22nd, we have the return of the Uptown Jazz Ten-Tet. These guys were pulled together back in 2016 by Willie Applewhite, who's a fantastic jazz musician. He wanted to bring together a lot of his friends to put together a ten-tet, which he thinks is the ultimate number, to be able to compose orchestrally, but also to feature fantastic jazz soloists. So he said, well, I happen to have the best jazz musicians in New York are my friends because they're all Juilliard graduates. So that's who he used to put together this great group. They came a few years ago. We had an enormous audience, standing ovations, and they are fantastic. So they're coming back. So we're thrilled to have them to finish out our season on August 22nd. The first concert, the Boston Civic Symphony, will be held at Colby Sawyer College, and the other 4 concerts this season will be at the First Baptist Church here in New London. And speaking of youth outreach, we of Summer Music Associates have this year combined with the Kearsarge Regional School District to bring a group on January 29th. The concert will be that Monday evening. It's free and open to the public, and we will present students from the Kearsarge Regional School District with the group called Ball in the House. They are a male a cappella singing group, so they will be working with students of the choruses of the entire district during the day and then present a concert that night. We are really excited about this season, and more information will be available on our website coming soon in January of 2024, and that is www.summermusicassociates.org. We hope to see you at the concerts. We know you will have a wonderful time there.
Thank you, Nancy. Up next is our ongoing series of New Hampshire legislative reports with Hope Damon. Now let's entertain you with another community-minded business that supports your Yankee Chronicle. Please stay with us.
This program is supported by the Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.
The American Red Cross blood supply is at historically low levels this winter, and we're facing a dangerous situation. Hospitals and patients are counting on donors to get the blood they need. Make a life-saving appointment today. Visit redcrossblood.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS.
I'm Laura James for Abby Peel, the host of Your Yankee Chronicle. Along with the League of Women Voters, we have been presenting legislative reports from this session of the New Hampshire House. Today we have Hope Damon.
So I'm Representative Hope Damon. I live in Croydon. I represent Sullivan District 8, which is the 9 towns of Ackworth, Langdon, Leominster, Goshen, Washington, Springfield, Sunapee, Croydon, and Claremont. It's a very interesting district. Claremont's actually a city. And while there are differences, I will quote Dave Luno, who is deputy ranking Dem on House Education Committee. He says, once you get to the House, you represent all of New Hampshire. So trying to do well for everyone. I serve on House Education Committee and also on the Special Committee on Housing. They are very different committees in oh so many ways, not just their topics. I'm in a first-term rep. I really, really like it. I like learning. I like challenge. When I told my 94-year-old retired social studies teacher dad that I was running for rep, he said, "Well, you're the most persistent person I know. You're going to need it." He was not wrong. So I work hard and endeavor to either help good things to happen or prevent things that I think are problematic from happening. Independent of the Education Committee and Housing Committee work, which I think will probably come up in some of the questions and discussions, I also have sponsored several bills. One at constituent request to improve the retirement funding for people who retired from emergency services work on disability at less than 20 years of service. And fingers crossed, because nothing is over until it is signed in the corner office, but I think we're well on the way to that bill succeeding, which benefits a small but significant population. I also sponsored a bill to require insurance and Medicaid coverage of glucose monitoring devices for people with diabetes. I'm a retired diabetes educator and dietitian, and I have learned a great deal in the process of trying to help that bill happen. There's an insurance mandate study happening on it this summer, so if I am fortunate enough to return to the House next fall, I will proceed with that bill and hopefully benefit with people with diabetes. And then lastly, I've also worked on a bill to increase transparency by requiring municipalities to record and live stream posted meetings. So select board meetings, school board meetings, city council. A lot of communities do that. A lot of communities do not do that. I think we need to make it easier for citizens to know what is happening in government.
Thank you, Hope, and all our legislators for your willingness to serve and represent our communities. If you'd like to watch the full 2-hour League Forum, you can catch it on demand at YCNnow.com. I want to thank Brian and his great staff for presenting our show these last 2 weeks. It really is a yummy magnet here in our area. Next will be presented by the new London Barn Playhouse as they kick off their 2024 season. Abby will be joined by Keith Coughlin, the Executive Artistic Director, for a rundown on this coming season and a lot more. We'll get a wrap on the 2024 Women Who Make a Difference. And Abby will be back at Preferred Building Systems for another look at what makes their home the best. And we'll close with a summary of the legislative session with Wilmot's Representative Tom Schamberg. Don't miss our Game of the Week, Great Saves from the Past. This week, YCN will feature a girls' basketball game with Newport hosting Sunapee. All our games replay at 12 noon and 7 p.m. on Sunday, and on Monday at TDS TV 13 and 1013, NCTV 8, Roku, and Apple TV. All our past programs and specials can be found at YCNnow.com. Just use the search function. I'm Laura James for Abby Peel. Join us next week at this time from the new London Barn Playhouse for another Yankee Chronicle. Enjoy the warmth, everyone.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications. MainStreet Bookends of Warner, for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. MainStreet Bookends of Warner. The Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.